listening to What to Know as Kirk shooting suspect awaits first court appearance, a news story written by Neha Masi and read by an AI-generated voice. The suspect in the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk is set to appear in court this week, as authorities continue to investigate the motive in the apparent act of political violence. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Republican, said over the weekend that Tyler Robinson, 22, has not confessed to authorities or cooperated with the investigation since he turned himself in on Thursday night. The killing of Kirk, a divisive figure and close ally of President Donald Trump, during a public appearance at a Utah university Wednesday, sent shockwaves across the nation. Vice President J.D. Vance said on X that he will host the Charlie Kirk Show on Monday afternoon as a tribute. The suspect is to be formally charged in a court appearance Tuesday. Robinson is set to make his first court appearance on Tuesday in Provo, Utah, where authorities are expected to formally charge him. He was taken into custody after a 33-hour manhunt that included local law enforcement agencies and the FBI. He is being held without bail in a special housing unit at the Utah County Jail on suspicion of aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and discharge of a weapon causing serious bodily harm. The count of aggravated murder could lead to a capital felony charge, which is punishable under Utah law by the death penalty or life in prison. A memorial for Kirk is planned for Sunday in Arizona. Turning Point USA, the organization Kirk co-founded, has announced a memorial for him on Sunday in Arizona, where the group is headquartered. The service will be held at Glendale's State Farm Stadium, which can seat more than 60,000. Doors will open at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, and the event will begin around 11 a.m. Trump, Vance, cabinet secretaries, and members of Congress are expected to attend, according to people familiar with the planning who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the details. Trump told reporters Sunday night that he plans to attend Kirk's funeral. Suspect had leftist ideology, Utah's governor says, but motive remains unclear. Cox said that the motive behind Kirk's killing is not yet known, but that authorities believe he has a leftist ideology based on their interviews with those who know him. Robinson is registered as an unaffiliated voter, while his parents are registered Republicans, according to state voter records. Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday, Cox said Robinson's relatives told investigators that he had very different political views than those of his conservative family, though he did not provide further details. Once a straight-A student, Robinson appeared to have been radicalized after dropping out of Utah State University, according to Cox. Cox said Robinson had been living with a romantic partner who was shocked to learn about the shooting and has been cooperating with authorities. The governor said the partner, who investigators believe had no prior knowledge of the shooting, is transitioning from male to female. He said authorities could not say whether these details were relevant to the investigation, adding that he wanted to be careful about drawing connections to the suspect's motive. FBI Director Kash Patel said Monday that Robinson sent a text message before the fatal shooting last week, saying that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. In an interview with Fox and Friends, Patel said that evidence of the message had been destroyed, but that investigators were able to recover its contents from steps taken at the apartment Robinson shared with his roommate and romantic partner. Patel also said Monday that the FBI had linked Robinson's DNA to samples from a screwdriver found on the roof of the building where Kirk's killer fired the fatal shot, and on a towel wrapped around the gun investigators say they believe is the murder weapon. It was found discarded in a wooded area near the scene. Kirk was highly regarded among conservatives, Trump's base. As a prominent conservative activist and provocateur, Kirk developed Turning Point into a political empire credited with shattering the left's grip on young voters. He became known for his divisive views, taunting the left with anti-trans, anti-feminist, and anti-affirmative action rhetoric that energized Trump's base. Trump directly credited Kirk with boosting his support among young voters in the 2024 race, telling Fox News last week that Kirk helped shape his TikTok strategy. Kirk's killing prompted an outpouring of grief from allies, including a generation of young White House officials who came of age politically in the era after Trump first assumed office and who now hold some of the country's most powerful positions. Calls for punishment as some who criticize Kirk are fired, put on leave. Trump, who was wounded in an attempted assassination last year, has blamed radical left political violence for Kirk's killing and promised to punish those who contributed to such an environment, without specifying what that would entail. Democrats have also faced targeted attacks, such as the killing of a Minnesota state legislator and her husband, along with the wounding of another state legislator and his wife in June. Around the country, social media posts about Kirk's death that were deemed offensive or insensitive by at least a dozen employers have led to workers getting fired or placed on leave. The Carolina Panthers, the University of Mississippi, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency are among employers that have put staff members on leave or dismissed them for their online activity, as well as apologized for and publicly disavowed their remarks. Others call for civility and de-escalation of political rhetoric. As the United States appears to have entered an era of heightened political violence, many are calling for a de-escalation of rhetoric as well as civility in discourse. If it were up to me, I think you need to take the word radical and remove right or left, Senator John Curtis, Republican Utah, said in an interview on ABC's This Week. Radical coming from any direction is not good, it's not healthy, and it should be called out. Democrat Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary under President Joe Biden, said on NBC's Meet the Press that the categories that matter in responding to this killing are not left and right or MAGA and Democrats. I think the only category that really matters is helping or hurting, he said.